Hey everybody,
Hi,
welcome back to our channel. I'm Sam,
and I'm Vivian.
and today we're going to talk about culture shock.
Yeah.
More specifically, Vivian's culture shock. So as you may know, if you watched our recent videos, I traveled to Uganda to pick Vivian up because our K1 visa was accepted.
Yeah.
And I went back because Vivian had never traveled abroad before in such a massive trip like coming to the US. So we spent 2 weeks in Uganda, saw her family, said our goodbyes,
It was not easy.
No, it was not easy. But things were left in a good state, and we started our long journey home from Uganda to Qatar, across the ocean to the US. And this was Vivian's first time in the United States.
Yeah. When Sam came to Uganda to get me, guys, I had to leave my family, I had to leave my job, my studies. I went through a lot. It was a lot, like, psychologically, because I was going to miss my family, and I do really miss my friends as well. I was uneasy, but I must say things that helped me a lot was, one, prayer. And my friends and family really stood by me during all that time. So by the time Samuel, my husband, decided to come to Uganda, I was really more comfortable that, you know what, I'm not going to sit in a big plane for the first time and and cry. I know many people are brave enough to travel alone, but my family was also uneasy, and they're like, "Ooh, how was it like going to look?" So I wanted to leave home when things were good, like they were happy and comfortable, that I wasn't going away, like, I was going to a family and they already loved Samuel, and they interacted with him and they were really comfortable. So I was so comfortable, first of all, living home with you. Yeah. Then I was really excited. It was my first time on a very big plane,
the Airbus, and we crossed 7 or 8 time zones. That's the time difference from here to Uganda.
I remember this moment when I landed. I really took it deep in my heart and prayed. I was like, God, I have landed. I have landed, but it is you who is going to keep me in this place. I was scared, but
sure.
Yeah, because I was coming to start life afresh.
So what was your first impression of like a grocery store, the foods, the prices? And
I must say I didn't know much about prices, because I kind of had to get used to converting. I literally used to look at prices of things and I'd be like, this is too expensive. In Ugandan shillings, it's half the price. I mean, why should we buy it? Let's leave it. And yet that's the normal thing you guys do. You just pick what you need and go with it. You don't go into a store and bargain and say, I have 2,000 from 10,000 like we do in Uganda. I can buy a shirt in Uganda for 2,000 when it was actually 10,000. Yeah,
but you can't go in and bargain with a machine.
No.
Either you're bargaining with a machine or you're bargaining with somebody who's swiping all of the things at the register.
Literally, you look great.
We get bargaining in supermarket.
In a big store.
That was a fun thing I learned in Uganda, was how to bargain. At first I thought, because I never knew about it, I thought it was a rude thing. And then in learning it in Uganda, I now miss it. So when I'm here, I look for opportunities where I get a bargain. I'm like, okay. It's like I'm in Uganda again, bargaining.
It reminds me of a story of a woman who went to buy a bicycle and she bargained until they gave it to her for free.
That's not real. Things are organized in supermarkets.
And people don't sell things on the streets.
Yes, we don't have open air markets. You can't go out unless you travel some ways. They have farmers markets, but not so much like markets you would find in Uganda or probably most of Africa.
I expected that when I come to the US, I would find lots of public transport and all that. But surprisingly, everybody here drives. I don't know how to drive. Ask me how I move. It takes me to every other place that I want. If I feel like going to a place, or like, let's get out of the house and move, it's either walking nearby. I thank God, because where we live is quite spacious. and quiet. You can take a walk, move around trails, and just look at places and come back.
And we actually have access here to nearby supermarkets,
Yes.
to malls.
There are no motorcycles. Back in my city in Uganda, everything, you can literally travel every distance on a boda, which is a motorcycle.
What are the changes in weather that you've noticed?
Where I come from in Uganda, the northern region, it's very hot.
True.
So I'm quite happy with where I am.
Yeah, we are kind of in the middle of the U.S., so we don't get freezing weather like some places.
Yeah, so much.
And at least here it's winter, but like today we sat outside and got sunshine. It was nice out. So what are people like?
Here people love their personal space. You know, like we live in an apartment with very many people, but you can't know everyone. Like, you know, the few people I know, I got to know them just by saying hi, hello, and they're really nice people though. And what I love about people is that when they come close to you, they will wave, they will say hi, they will not just, you know, pass you by. They will greet you, and much as you don't have very long conversations, at least they're interested and, you know, they wave. They're very kind. One thing I love about people here is they're very kind. And every place I have gone to, I have seen people working hard, and I would be like, oh my God. Like, people take their work so seriously. I'm not saying that back home people don't take their work so seriously. I used to work, but there are days when we would be lazy and, you know, nothing much is going on. But I've seen that is, I think people here love their jobs and they do well. They do really well. Yeah. And that's a good thing. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we've kind of been trained to work hard. It's definitely a value in the U.S. to work hard and be independent.
Whoever Vivian from Uganda doesn't know the names of American dishes. However, I'm interested in learning and I want to taste the different foods, right? And know how they taste, like, okay, what is this? So I really take my time when we go out to choose what I want. And if I don't succeed, my husband has to either choose for me something to eat because I trust that it's good. And then I also don't have any problem with food. I'm not choosy. Me, when it is food, my mother taught me, you eat food.
She will eat whatever you put in front of her.
Not whatever. But I don't have bad choices with food. I eat. And I believe that the food that is served is good food. So sometimes I end up going with what he's eating, or try something new. Ordering food is hard because I don't understand and I don't know. So he helps me. And
I had an incident like that when I was first trying food in Uganda. I stayed with a homestay family who took ownership of kind of entering me into the culture. And they gave me, you know, potatoes. They gave me all these local foods, malakwang, kal, and I was trying everything. And then they brought out chicken gizzards.
And I didn't know what they were.
I never knew what they were. And apparently it is the thing you give, the prized thing you give to the guests of the house.
In our house, when a visitor comes, that's the part that is served for the visitor.
Yes.
The gizzard of the chicken.
But it's interesting eating
delicious.
for the first time. But you know, there are those things that you get exposed to when you first go to a country and you just do it. You just eat it and you eat it over time. You get used to it.
Yeah.
And maybe you find that you like those things more than the foods you grew up with too.
It's nice to explore and learn new things.
Maybe what are some things? I know hair is a big thing for the ladies.
It is a big thing.
What do you do here about hair?
Well, you can see I've become my own personal stylist.
Yeah.
I look good, don't I look good? One day I was bored and I kind of felt like changing my hair. And like, that's how we do it at home. You just walk to the salon can even unplait your hair there and do it. At least I know by the time I walk into a salon, there has to be one bored salonist who is waiting for a random customer. And I'll enter there and without any plan and come out when my hair is done. But this time it was different. I entered in the salon very confident, and you know, I walked there and I was like, hi, there's a receptionist. Hello? A receptionist in a salon. I'm like, it was very organized. And then they were all white people. I was a bit scared. I was like, my accent now. So I walked there. I'm like, hi, my name is Vivian. I would like to play here. They're like, oh, okay, so this is what we do. She first explained to me everything, how they work, how I should go on their website and book. You know, everything is done on the computer. How do they call it? Book
Appointment?
an appointment. That I should book an appointment to go work on my hair.
Brought a lot of difference into that, which I've also been learning from too, because it's not always the American way, or it's not always the African way. You have to come to some compromise if you want to get along. So that's pretty much all we have for you guys today. We thank you again for joining us and would love to see you again next time for these cultural talks.
Let me know, what are those things that you have experienced and have shocked you? What way of life have you adjusted to?
Keep commenting, keep building the talk, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.